really believe in art as a religion, like in being creative and, you know, expressing yourself. I think that's something everyone should do in life, because to me, okay, this new album is kind of, it's called The Rising of the Sun. The sun is kind of in my concept, you know, the sun is like God, and then to me nature, yeah, is kind of the nature is like it's divine art. It's like the highest form of art. So to me, I just look at nature, you know, like a scientist. I just look at the phenomena around us, and I'm like, okay, everything that lives grows and it expresses itself, and it kind of reaches towards the sun. So I just want to be like that. I want to kind of be creative, grow, and, you know, grow towards the sun, or whatever, love, or whatever you may call it. So that's the concept. That's my religion. I'm a sun worshipper. I don't really, I'm not religious in the classical sense. So this is not a concept. It's actually something that is, it's an urge. I really enjoy it, you know. I did a short movie simply because I haven't done it before. That's my only reason. People was like, why you do that? Oh, because I haven't done it before. I think we should in no form, you know, limit ourselves at all, because we don't have to. So why do it, you know? So if you can, you should try whatever, you know. And it's like you find what you're good at, or what's fun. I like art, you know, because it's artists are kind of like-minded people, you know. Like with someone like JR is a very close friend of mine, simply because we don't have to explain each other, you know, how it works. It's kind of like a very natural thing, you know. When an artist meets an artist, it's like, hey, what's up? Let's go and have a drink, whatever. It's like we know each other for a while, you know. And it's inspiring, you know. All the arts kind of inspire each other, and that's good, you know. And big cultures like, say, hip-hop, you know, it always had different elements. It had music, it had art, you know, graffiti, and it had dance, and it had, you know, different forms. And then that created a culture. And so I definitely believe in these different aspects of something, not just music isolated, but rather music, art, you know, and, you know, whatever, dance, food. You know, we did this Super Sunday event in Paris where it was like real, like food, and then amazing food by this star chef. It was really excellent. Then we did exhibitions of street art. Then we did music, you know, and it was really cool. It was a cultural event that was fresh and new and cool. And so, yeah, that's what I would like to bring to the world. Not just you know, one thing. I don't really see the frontiers between things. It's like when you're a child, you don't limit yourself either. You're just like, yeah, I tried that, or I tried that. It's like, yeah, whatever. Like, so, I mean, I respect, you know, JR a lot for his contribution. I think, you know, in order to change the world, we need to first change our image of the world and ourselves in it, you know. We have to change the vision, and I think that JR is helping to do that, you know.
I have risen from the dead. How could I ever put on my head? I'm sorry, mama, if I made you sad. Cupid pulled his arrow out greedily, to death I bled for days and days in the darkest place. But heart's a muscle, I got muscle ache. I pushed tons of love, it was killing me. Now I'm killing it while Babylon is billing me. Oh, yeah, nobody building me.
The thing is, it's always positive in the end, you know. I never, like, especially on this album, I never, like, it's always positive. You know, even if I talk about a reality and something that's not so cool, in the end, you know, the way I see it, or the outcome, or the conclusion is always a positive one, you know. I'm trying not to use music as therapy for myself, or kind of to air out my feelings, but rather to bring something positive to myself and the world, you know. Like when I wrote Every Day Is Good because of being alive, it's because I was confronted with death. So that made me write something that kind of celebrates life and says, hey, we're alive, what a gift, you know, we can live, so let's really do that, you know. And that's maybe basically the way we should honor the dead, by appreciating our lives. Because imagine, you know, they'd be looking at us being like, look, you actually have the chance to live and you're not using it, you know. So yeah, my message is really be alive, like live. Don't, like I'm saying, challenge everything. Like, just go for it, man. Don't hold back, you know. Live the moment. Don't be scared. You know, love over fear, that kind of stuff. Everyone plays their role, you know. You have people like Miley Cyrus that are also relevant, you know, but they're entertainers. And that's okay, you know. Especially, I went, for example, to Sierra Leone after the war, and, you know, they don't want to hear like, oh, Babylon is wrong, you know. They just want to hear shake your booty. I can completely understand. There was so much bad that you're just like, hey, I just want to have fun, drink. So this is important too, you know. So I'm not trying to put that down. I'm just saying my part is a different one. My part is to, you know, bring kind of consciousness and inspire.
Screaming at a world that don't care.
I would have to start with blues music, you know, because that's what was listened to in my house. That was my first concert, a concert by Champion Jack Dupree, you know, a blues musician from the States. I didn't really like it per se because I was like too young to really understand that kind of music, you know, but I completely absorbed it. And because it was my first, because he gave me a vinyl record, so it was my first record, so I took a lot of pride in it. And I listened to it and I tried to like it, you know. And so that, to me, blues always has this, because in everything I do, even if it's like kind of, even if it's happy, you know, there's always a degree of melancholy, you know. And it's because I find melancholy beautiful. And I think, yeah, it's part of everything good in a way. So that music I love, and it influenced me. Obviously, singer-songwriter music, because when I started to play my guitar, you know, I started with the classic songs like Dylan and Led Zeppelin, but also Nirvana, you know, Guns N' Roses, Metallica, all that stuff I learned on the guitar. So that was a big influence, and Hendrix, of course. And then hip-hop music, because I grew up in hip-hop, you know, like, but more as a culture, you know. We did a lot of skateboarding, and we listened to Two Life Crew, Miami Bass, and yeah, I really liked that. And then, but I always liked people with message, and so, you know, I like Public Enemy, you know, Dead Press, that kind of stuff. Later on, Fugees, because of the song called Vocab, which was kind of an acoustic song that they rapped on and toasted on. And I was like, wow, okay, so these worlds can actually come together, and, you know, it can work. Because I was always with my hip-hop guys, you know, and they were different from, like, the rock guys I would play guitar with. So it was always, like, these different worlds. It's not like today. Today, they're not as separate as they used to be. Back then, it was completely, like, separate. So, yeah, and I always try to find ways to find, like, a common ground between these things. So that was an influence. And then obviously reggae, but especially Bob Marley, because he changed my life. Like, I listened to the first Bob Marley tape. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know who he was. I just heard the music, and it was so much bigger than just music. You know, what was communicated through those notes was just huge spiritually. It just somehow makes you understand things on a level, you know. Today, you know, I'm into anything that's kind of fresh, you know. Like the last fresh thing I thought was, I mean, there's many cool things, but I thought Frank Ocean really had an impact, you know. I think, you know, Kendrick Lamar had an impact on rap music, you know, that's very important, you know. So these things, even Odd Future, in a way. And so all these things, you know, anything that's fresh and that brings life to the whole thing, I like. So if you ask me, okay, what my style is on my category, I know you can pick now. My music is really embracive. It's not at all talking about differences, but what makes us similar, everyone, you know, and also what makes musical styles, because to me, genres are kind of like cultures, you know, it's different cultures, but at the same time, the essence, which is the song, you can play in rock, you can play in reggae, you can play in hip hop, it doesn't change, you know, it's just like putting on different clothes. And so I don't really see the frontiers between people or musical genres. So that's the way my music reflects this, because my parents met in an airplane somewhere above Europe and Africa, and so to me that I'm the outcome, and I can tell you it works, you know. So this kind of exchange, and it's also a very modern phenomenon, because we live in a world that's constantly changing and mixing. Eventually, everyone will be mixed, you know. So even musically, you know, I'm trying to, you know, represent that culture of mixture, but in a very, it's funny because we call it mixture, but I'm sure that in the beginning of mankind, you know, we also looked the same, you know. So it's kind of going back in a way at the same time as it's moving forward. And that's, I think, a beautiful thing, you know, the fact that you won't be able to tell, okay, this is from here or this is from there or this person is from here or there. You just see him for being a person, and you just see the music for what it is. Just like, is it a good song or a bad song, you know, or do I like it or don't I like it? It's about the content, you know, and the quality of it, you know, and the same goes for human beings. And I kind of, I'm very proud to be a symbol for that kind of world, you know, and I believe that that's the future.
Screaming out